7. The Nook? You bet. You can also read a full replica of the newspaper on your Android-powered smartphone, on Apple's iPhone, or on your laptop. We have a solution for any device. E-Edition is free for subscribers, or just $7.99 a month. The Bakersfield Californian. We're everywhere and anytime. Subscribe today. Bakersfield.com.
Roadrunner Rundown on Bakersfield.com and the CSUB Roadrunners Digital Network. Live from the Dignity Health Studios in downtown Bakersfield, California.
Welcome in again to another edition of Roadrunner Rundown, the official program, CSUB Roadrunner Athletics. Corey Costello, who we did. Thanks so much for joining us on a wonderful program. We've got a lot of stuff to get to today. You know, the March Madness season is not over. Basketball season is not complete quite yet. The Roadrunners competing last week at the Western Athletic Conference Tournament. What a showing, and we're going to get to more of that coming up a little bit later in the show on a special Corey Visit segment from the Western Athletic Conference Tournament in Las Vegas. Great showing by both teams. Both teams make to the semifinals. Unfortunately, both lose there, but the Roadrunner women's basketball team, because of their second-place finish in the Western Athletic Conference regular season and Idaho's win at the tournament, puts the Roadrunners as the automatic qualifier for the WNIT tournament, which will start on Friday. And so we'll be speaking with head coach Greg McCall. He will join us in the next segment of the program as we will talk about the WNIT and their first-round opponent, which is St. Mary's. So they'll be at St. Mary's Friday night at 6 p.m., the time just coming across for that. So Greg McCall will join us in the next segment. We'll talk about the WAC tournament, unfortunate loss there. We'll also talk about his opportunity to go to postseason and playing in the WNIT, the first WNIT berth for the Roadrunners, and so we'll chat with him coming up in the next segment of the program. Also, you know, softball season is underway, and it amazes me how many games a softball team can play in a short amount of time, but Bakersfield actually kind of getting through their non-conference season. They're getting ready to open up WAC play in a couple weeks, but they have another non-conference tournament this weekend down at Cal State Northridge. But Kelsie Monroe, she threw a one-hitter the other week, and she's going to join us on the program. You want to talk about workhorse when it comes to, she pretty much put the definition of workhorse when it comes to pitching in softball in the dictionary. She will join us coming up in the third segment of the show, a senior pitcher for the, or junior pitcher for the Roadrunners, having a phenomenal season so far. And also baseball this weekend, back at home. Roadrunners are hosting their second Western Athletic Conference series against the University of North Dakota. North Dakota, a new affiliate member in baseball in the Western Athletic Conference. And so we will bring back our ever-popular Behind Enemy Lines segment. We will chat with Mitch Wigness. He is the Assistant Media Relations Director at North Dakota. He's also a play-by-play voice for the North Dakota radio network. So we'll chat with him about the North Dakota. They don't have a nickname anymore. They're just North Dakota. So we'll chat with him about North Dakota and what they're going to bring into the Western Athletic Conference and this weekend series at Hartfield as well. So all that to get to on the show today. And, of course, we have highlights. We will go to highlights. We'll start with men's basketball, where the Roadrunners, their season came to an end at the semifinals in the WAC tournament last week. Runners' first half, though, against New Mexico State, just dominated, led by Isaiah Grayson. He's scoring, he's driving, he's shooting. He leads Bakersfield to a couple of 9-point leads. Here's a step-back jumper from Grayson here, and he would score a career-high 33 points in the game. But, it wasn't only Grayson. Here's Javante Maynard hitting a long three-pointer, gives the Runners their first 9-point lead. Then Brandon Barnes with the pull-up jumper. He scored 11 for the Roadrunners, who shot 47% in the first half. And Grayson, again, one off the glass there. As then check out this move coming up. They're going to pass the big Ali Ahmed. He's going to take on Sim Bular, who's 7'5". Look at the behind-the-back dribble from the big guy. He goes glass and the finish as well. Runners play great defense all night in the post as well. Here they double-team Bular. Grayson with the steal and the finish as well. New Mexico State, though, back within 4 after a phantom flagrant foul was called. But then how about this response? The flagrant was called on Isaiah Grayson. How about this response from Grayson? Is they're going to find him open in the corner in front of the New Mexico State bench. Nothing but net. Bakersfield leads by 6 at half. Second half, though, the attack changes for New Mexico State. Using their guards, Daniel Mullings attacks with the finish, and then he would lead New Mexico State with 21. Eden Baker with that 3 as well from three-point range. Aggies back into it. Mullings another spin move and finish. Then a Bular block right here, and this is where New Mexico State can hurt you. Off the block, in transition, Mullings layup makes it a 1-point lead. Then a Runners turnover coming up right here leads another Mullings fast break and a dunk there. Runners not going away, though. Isaiah Grayson for the tie with this three-pointer here for the Roadrunners, and he gets it, a two-pointer actually. Tied at 56, less than 4 to play, but it has been the case all season. Runners fall short.
A lot of credit. I thought our guys really came out and really kind of got them on their heels. Late in the game, I thought their guards really stepped up and hit some big shots that they didn't hit in the first half. Really proud of our team. I thought we executed the game plan and gave ourselves a chance to win a game against a team that's really talented and have been together, and one that's difficult to put a game plan together because they had good players both inside and on the perimeter, and they've got the player of the year on their team. So, but I thought our kids gave a valiant effort. I thought our season was one. Obviously, it was tough. I thought down the stretch. Again, they made some shots that gave them a chance, and shots that they missed early, and we missed some shots that thought we had some opportunities to keep the game a little bit closer. But
I'm just thankful for these guys that we never give up. I mean, it was a tough game, and we was hitting shots, and then we was playing great defense in the first half, and those dudes got out on us second half, but. Like I said, I wouldn't be nothing without my teammates. Feel me? I can't do it by myself, and I'm glad I got these group of guys because they're always there to fight.
We love each other, to be very honest with each other. So we couldn't really quit because we couldn't quit on each other, and that was the thing that made us keep going. And we had each other. We came to practice every day and worked hard, and we came to practice every day and had some energy. And it's pretty easy when you have that every day. To go hard. You got the guy next to you fighting for you regardless of the tough times. And, my dad always goes, there's going to be tough times in life that you got to stick through it. And I felt like we were really resilient this year. And, balls didn't really bounce out in our favor this year. And, we worked hard. So, it was a good year in that aspect.
Yeah, the Roadrunners, unfortunately, last 4 minutes just haven't been their thing this year. New Mexico State takes advantage. They get the win. Bakersfield, though, not to be overshadowed. What a great quarterfinal win over Chicago State, a team they had lost to twice in the regular season. Roadrunners win at 68-62. Isaiah Grayson with 29 points there. Then they lose in the semifinals to eventual champion New Mexico State, who won their third straight WAC tournament. Bakersfield, though, had them on the ropes a bunch. Again, it was tied with 56 with 3:55 to go, but those last 4 minutes have been an issue all year long. Mexico State holds on for the victory. Isaiah Grayson, by the way, career high 33 points. He was named to the all-tournament team as well with that performance. One of the greater performances, best of his career, but one of the best performances in the tournament as a whole. So he's first team all WAC tournament and a great showing for Bakersfield there. So men's basketball season is over. Women's basketball season not quite over yet, as let's head to the Orleans Arena again. The women's basketball squad semifinals taking on third-seeded Seattle. It was Tana Outland early, going so fast the camera can't even keep up with her. The steal and the finish. Then Outland the drive and the pull-up coming up for Bakersfield here. Next time down the floor, once again, more Tana Outland. She will drive from the top of the key, and she will go glass for 2 more. She had 24 for the Roadrunners. Melissa Sweat, though, she was a big story in the ball game. Career high 29 points. She hits the baseline jumper here, but Seattle, well, they had a story as well. Plenty of athletes on this team. They would lead for much of the game. Runners struggling to convert from outside, where they were just 3 of 21 of the game. Seattle led by 4 at the half. Second half for Bakersfield, more Melissa Sweat as she would get going off the miss here, and Runners just couldn't make three-pointers. Second half, though, Melissa Sweat, nice jump stop finish there. Then one more time, she's going to split 2 defenders as well. But Seattle, well, they would extend their lead in the second half. Tana Outland still playing a good game as Seattle, though, able to drive and finish. And this one off the glass. And again, Tana Outland with a steal, keeping Bakersfield in it. But, well, it would be Seattle that would lock it up on this lay-in by Ashley Ward. They win 84-79.
They played an excellent game.
They did a lot of good things against us in their zone, and I think that kind of hurt us and set the tone on how they were going to play the rest of the way. And I think we fouled too much. If we could have got the flow of the game a little bit better without us fouling so much so early on in the second half, I think the outcome would have been a whole lot different. But just the nature of the game, and we have to accept that and just give hats off to Seattle.
I just knew it would be I knew it would be a tough game coming in, but the whole time we just still believe, but we just didn't get the outcome that we wanted.
I liked coming back home and playing in front of my family and friends. Tonight's game, it's cool scoring 29 points. We still don't know. We didn't come up with the W though.
So Bakersfield with a good tournament, though. You want to talk about a gutsy win in the quarterfinals? They go in overtime, beating Utah Valley 65-63. They were just got whistled for so many fouls. Free throws were very one-sided. Utah Valley with the advantage there, but Bakersfield making plays at the end. Erica Williams, Tana Outland. That would lead the Runners into the semifinals, where they would lose to Seattle on Friday, 84-79. But the season not over for the Roadrunners. They will take the automatic qualifying spot in the WNIT for the Western Athletic Conference, and the Roadrunners will play in their first WNIT as Bakersfield. It'll be actually the other way. Runners will be at St. Mary's coming up this weekend on Friday night, 6 o'clock. Runners against St. Mary's in Moraga at the WNIT. So very cool for Bakersfield, and again, 6 o'clock on Friday night, they'll be at St. Mary's. A good team, St. Mary's, 22-9 this past season. We'll speak with head coach Greg McCall coming up in the next segment. Hey, on to baseball. Bakersfield opening their conference series this past weekend. Runners hosting Grand Canyon. Friday night, a good battle. Bakersfield with a 4-3 win. Taylor Aikenhead winning his quote-unquote hair match. Remember on this show, Bill Kernan said if he started struggling, he was going to lapse his no long hair rule, but if Aikenhead started to struggle, it was going to have to come off. Well, he was on the verge, but Aikenhead pulls out the 4-3 complete game win. Bakersfield gets the victory in the first game, but after that, it was pretty much all Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon going to beat Bakersfield 5-4 in Saturday's game, and then on Sunday, 9-2, Grand Canyon wins the series. So the Roadrunners dropping their first conference series of the season to Grand Canyon. Bakersfield is back at home this weekend. They will host North Dakota at Hartfield. It will be Friday at 6, Saturday at 6, and Sunday at 1. The Runners taking on North Dakota. And also Friday night, they're giving away a really cool Western Athletic Conference 2013 commemorative Coca-Cola koozies. They've got the tournament trophy on the side. It's very cool. It's got the conference trophy on the side. Very awesome. And they'll be giving those away to fans on Friday night. So join us out at Hartfield. Also, we'll be speaking with North Dakota play-by-play voice Mitch Wigness coming up a little bit later on the program. CSUB softball. The Runners in action this past weekend. They were at Sacramento State in a non-conference series. Bakersfield winning the first game on Friday night in a one-run affair in that one, 6-1, and then Kelsie Monroe tossing a one-hitter. She's going to be joining us on the program as well, but she gets a victory on Friday night, 6-1, as a great effort from Monroe, and then on Saturday, 2-1 Sacramento in the first game, and yet again 2-1 Sacramento in the second game. It just one of those 7 one-run losses for softball. It's amazing. Bakersfield's at the Northridge tournament this weekend, taking on Harvard, Northridge, and Pacific. So there you go. There's the game times there at the Northridge tournament. Should be a good showing for Bakersfield. They've been playing very well lately. Either they're playing a top 25 team, or they're just losing by one. I mean, they're right there. The team's looking pretty good. So we'll talk with Kelsie Monroe coming up. Water polo, meanwhile, just real quick, they split their Sunday games at the Arizona State tournament. Runners beating Whittier 10-8 in the first game before having a comeback fall against Marist College 9-8 in the nightcap. So there you have it, the scores from around Bakersfield water polo and Roadrunner Athletics. Hey, we had the Western Athletic Conference tournament last weekend, and last week, as a matter of fact, and it's time for another special edition of Corey Visits as I kind of bring all the pageantry of the WAC tournament to you here on Roadrunner Rundown. Let's check it out. Our first WAC tournament, my first WAC tournament. And man, was the Orleans Hotel and Arena in Las Vegas first class about it. We had our own elevator doors. Yep, that's us. Upon check-in, I realized the room keys were all about the WAC. Every team felt welcome, and it felt like a big deal. The best part is we looked the part of a team that belonged, even though it was our first season in the conference. We had great fan support, holding impromptu pep rallies in the arena walkway from the hotel, even getting removed by security once. Fest going in style. Nobody dances like Bakersfield dancing. And of course, we had some wins.
This one for grabs. Alyssa Shannon ball, touch ball game. Roadrunners win it 65-63. You want to talk about a gutsy performance tonight.
(68-62), and that is going to do it. The Bakersfield Roadrunners win their first Western Athletic Conference tournament game. 68-62 over Chicago State. Isaiah Grayson with 29 points, and the Roadrunners win and survive. They'll head to the next round. Our band was legit. Our Spirit Squad stole the show during a couple halftime performances, and everybody who came was wrapped up in the excitement of March Madness. It didn't work out with tournament wins this year, but a pretty good first showing, and we hope to see you next season at the WAC tournament in Las Vegas. People that went had a phenomenal time, and you need to be there next year. You don't want to miss it. What a great time, and what a great showing for Bakersfield in their first conference tournament. Fans were great. Band was great. Cheerleaders were great. Teams lived up to it as well. Looked like we belonged. It was a great showing, and I want you to join us next season as well. Hey, we're going to talk with head women's basketball coach Greg McCall next about the upcoming WNIT. His team will play on Friday at St. Mary's. We'll talk with Coach McCall next. Stick around. This is Roadrunner Rundown.
Introducing TBC Mobile from the Bakersfield Californian. The most complete news, sports, weather, video, opinion, and lifestyle coverage in Bakersfield and Kern County. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on all things local while on the go. Read it on your smartphone or tablet. Download now by searching Bakersfield Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores. Kern Business Journal contains news and information from local business leaders and organizations. Topics include agriculture, health and medical, energy, real estate, and more. Visit KernBusinessJournal.com to find out how to subscribe or where to pick up a free copy. To inquire about advertising in the bi-monthly Business Journal, call 395-7586. Find us online on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on KernBusinessJournal.com.
Brave and bold, silver and gold. We are on a mission. Aggie up.
Bronx Country just got a whole lot bigger.
Mighty Wolverines of UVU.
Join the herd. Lopes up.
Bold moves, big season, grew up.
We are the new gold standard.
We will be champions.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
Save 50 to 90% with the Bakersfield Californians Daily Deal featured on Bakersfield.com. A daily deal is offered each weekday on services from local restaurants, dry cleaners, health and beauty services, retail shops, and local activities for the entire family. The daily deal is 100% local. Find these amazing deals only at dailydeal.bakersfield.com.
The new book is out. That was easy. I would title this thing sort of a description of what raising children is like. You know, that was easy. I've been writing columns now for about 25 years. Writing has always been a conversation. You're taking somebody by the hand for 3 or 4 minutes and you're not letting go. The new book, That Was Easy. Nothing easy about any of this, but we've had some fun and I hope you guys will have some fun looking at this book.
Welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown. Thanks so much for joining us on the program once again. As you know, all year long, all the last 4 or 5 months, we've been talking a lot of basketball, and you know, this the good news is it's March, and we're not done talking about basketball. That means we are in a postseason tournament, and the WNIT would be that tournament. The automatic qualifier from the Western Athletic Conference are the Bakersfield Roadrunners. Head coach Greg McCall joins us on the show. Coach, first of all, you know, this is you're going to head to your first WNIT on Friday. I know you wanted to be in the NCAA tournament, yes, but this is a pretty good consolation prize, though.
Yeah, it is, and you know, definitely wanted to be into the the big one, the NCAA. We fell a little short. You know, that was one of our main goals at the beginning of the season, but you know, ultimately was another one of our goals was to make sure that we are going to postseason play, and so we do have a great opportunity, and we still continue to make history. This is the first time that any basketball team has gone this far as the WNIT. Both men's and women's program have gone to the WBI and the CI and CBI for the men, but for the WNIT, this is the first of its kind. So very excited for the girls.
Absolutely, and it also, I mean, it seems like it's rewarding because you guys finished second place in the WAC in the regular season, and Idaho won the regular season and they won the tournament championship. But I mean, you're the only team that beat Idaho during the regular season, and so you really earned that second place finish. And so this is kind of your reward for finishing in second place. You get a chance to represent the conference in this tournament.
Yeah, that, it really is, and I'm really proud of the girls. And yes, we were the only team since Idaho is going out now out of the conference. I don't have to worry about them coming back and hunting me down for kind of bragging a little bit. We were the only team that did get an opportunity to beat them, and I'm very happy for us as a program. That says a lot about our players and what they've tried to accomplish, and that we can go in and we can play and compete with a lot of different teams throughout the country.
Let's talk about the WAC tournament. You guys didn't really shoot well in either game, but you made enough plays in the quarterfinal game in overtime to win. Struggled a little bit from the field, especially from three-point range against Seattle in the semis. Was that your biggest downfall, you think, in the tournament, was just kind of shooting percentages?
Yes, it was, and teams are going to continue to try to, sag off of us because we attacked the paint so well. We had 44 points in the paint. Seattle had, I think, like 48, and we had 44, and we still, had many more shots than they did. And I think we had 75 to their like 59 or 60 shots. And if we could have buried, our goal is to hit 6 or 8 threes throughout the game. If we can hit 6 or 8 threes, we'll win a lot of basketball games. And we ended up hitting only 3 that game.
Yeah, and is that maybe more of a fatigue thing? I mean, you guys had played that Saturday before, as did everybody, but you get to a conference tournament, it's a real grind. Was that maybe this late in the year probably more of a fatigue thing, and how much you think this week of rest before St. Mary's is going to help you guys?
It's going to help a lot. I think it could have been a little bit of fatigue thing, a little bit of first-time jitters, getting into the tournament. For our players, so each game was, knowing that, Seattle, did have some experience on us and being there before, a little bit of jitters with that. So we were hoping that it could have been a combination of both. So now that we got our feet wet into the tournament, we kind of know what March Madness is all about now. Is not going to be an easy road. It was only one game that was really easy, and that was Idaho versus Seattle.
Yeah.
Everything else were tight games.
Absolutely. And let's talk St. Mary's, your matchup on Friday night in the WNIT. One of 3 WCC schools to make the WNIT field. 22-9 this season. They had 4 wins over NCAA tournament teams. What kind of challenge will they pose for your squad?
Oh, they're a team that plays really, really hard. They do have a little bit of height, but they don't. I don't think she starts, but they do have somebody that comes off the bench. But their post players they play really hard. They go to the offensive boards extremely hard, and I think that's one of the things that they live and die by going to the offensive boards. They do have one player that's averaging about 20, 21 points a game. Jackie Nard is her name, and she's a really good player. Does a lot for them. Mm-hmm. She does a lot. The other players are kind of like feed off of her, and like I said, they crash the boards really hard. I think the other 2, I think they have like 4 players that's averaging in double figures, and but most of them get a lot of their shots off offensive board, and they got one girl that shoots quite a few 3-point shots. Are
there any similarities to Idaho there? I mean, they have a lot of scorers and a little bit of height. So is that kind of similar to Idaho in the WAC?
Somewhat for them. I think Idaho shoots the 3 a lot better than they do, and Idaho had a lot more 3-point shooters that you had to really chase off the line. Here they have a couple 3-point shooters. I think everything else is pretty much trying to penetrate. They kind of run the similar system as we do, a lot of pick and rolls. Running that system there, so that's one of the things I can kind of tell right now that we're going to have to face.
Now there are some connections there. Coach Paul Thomas was a longtime coach at Cal Poly Pomona. Yes. Now your assistant Tasha Burnett played for him.
Yes.
And then coached for him at St. Mary's, right?
Yes,
briefly?
she did. Yes.
So there's a little bit of a connection there. So you kind of know the inner workings of his mind a little bit of what he's going to run. So that helps.
Yes. Yeah. Coach Tasha, she does a good job of doing a good job of scouting reports anyway. So this is going to be one of hers, of course. So she might as well get ready for it, and we want to know everything they would need to know about him, the way he thinks, what time does he wake up in the morning. Any little edge that we can get, that's what we want to know.
We had some epic battles with him, by the way, when he was at Cal Poly Pomona at the Division II level. I think at one point, former assistant Tim Lacoste referred to him and his program as the Evil Empire because they were it was such a fight and a battle when you played Cal Poly Pomona that it became like a running joke. Like we beat him one time and he said, it's always great to beat the Evil Empire. And that's what he was talking about. And he's been very successful where he was. Coach Thomas is a great coach. So obviously there's familiarity there. But looking at this game, I mean, if this game or maybe the next game in the tournament happens to be the last of the season, I mean, are you happy with the season the way it's gone? I mean, first year in a conference tournament, playing for an AQ, you end up in the WNIT because of an AQ. The team's got 19 wins. I mean, are you pleased all in all with the way this has gone in your first year?
Yeah, I am. I'm very pleased with us. With the way the girls have competed, the way they bought into everything. It could have easily turned the other way, and I am so pleased with our players. They bought into everything that I've asked them to do, from the academics to the basketball floor. And I couldn't ask for a better group of players that have bought into every single thing. If they didn't buy into it, they were at least trying to get the job done. Yeah. And they play so hard, and they're so hungry. And hats off to them, too, because they had to really go out there and compete night in and night out and day in and day out, and sacrifices that they made with the late night practices that we used to have because of class schedules, and so that all those things combined really turned out to be make a successful season.
And you have a gutsy team. I mean, that quarterfinal win over Utah Valley. You talk about everything going against you. Fouls were really one-sided. Free throws, because of Utah Valley being the bonus so early, were one-sided. Two of your top. You have 2 of your top scorers. One fouls out. One gets hurt late in the game, and you still find a way to win a game in overtime. I mean, you had other players step up, and Erica Williams, and then Tyna Allen did what she does. I mean, I was impressed. And as a coach, I mean, it's hard to recruit guts. I mean, you guys definitely have it.
That's true, and that's the sign of a good team that really wants it. And it starts in practice, and it starts in that first day when you get them there on campus, and when you get them out there on the basketball court, you can kind of tell what type of team you're going to have, and then how you determine how you mold it and shape it and what you wanted it to be, and then them believing in it. Yeah. And it took a lot for that to happen, and they did, and I'm very, very happy for them. And so they are a gutsy team. We don't back down from anybody. We're going to go out there and try to compete no matter who you are, and we're going to try to go out there and get the job done. We have a couple good, couple players that are ranked nationally, with Ty, she's like number 34, 35 in the nation in scoring, and then you got Bada Bay, who's like number, I think maybe like 18, 19 in the country in rebounding. Right. So, these girls have, earned the right to go out there and show what they can do, and man, it's turned out to be really good.
It'll start Friday night at 6 o'clock, hopefully the first of several games in the WNIT. Coach McCall, thanks so much for joining us. Congrats on a good year, and good luck on Friday.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to step away, folks. When we come back, we're going to talk some softball. Kelsie Monroe will join us, Roadrunner pitcher, and you want to talk about workhorse. She's throwing most of the innings for the Roadrunner softball team. We'll talk to her. Coming up next, this is Roadrunner Rundown.
Introducing TBC Mobile from the Bakersfield, California. The most complete news, sports, weather, video, opinion, and lifestyle coverage in Bakersfield and Kern County. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on all things local while on the go. Read it on your smartphone or tablet. Download now by searching Bakersfield Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores.
Save 50 to 90% with the Bakersfield Californians Daily Deal featured on Bakersfield.com. A daily deal is offered each weekday on services from local restaurants, dry cleaners, health and beauty services, retail shops, and local activities for the entire family. The daily deal is 100% local. Find these amazing deals only at dailydeal.bakersfield.com.
The Bakersfield Californian is a great read on the iPad, but did you know that the Bakersfield Californian is available on your Kindle Fire? Or how about Google's Nexus 7, the Nook? You bet. You can also read a full replica of the newspaper on your Android-powered smartphone, on Apple's iPhone, or on your laptop. We have a solution for any device. E-Edition is free for subscribers, or just $7.99 a month. The Bakersfield Californian. We're everywhere and anytime. Subscribe today. Bakersfield.com.
Kern Business Journal contains news and information from local business leaders and organizations. Topics include agriculture, health and medical, energy, real estate, and more. Visit KernBusinessJournal.com to find out how to subscribe or where to pick up a free copy. To inquire about advertising in the bi-monthly Business Journal, call 395-7586. Find us online on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on KernBusinessJournal.com.
I'm Lisa Kirsch. Coming up Wednesday for you on Live Well, senior fitness with a certified personal trainer. We're also exploring 55-plus living communities with a senior real estate specialist. Our Mommy Roundtable is coming back by popular demand. This time we are focusing on surviving and thriving for empty nesters. These topics and much more coming up for you Wednesday on Live Well, only on Bakersfield.com.
And welcome back into Roadrunner Rundown, the official program CSUB Roadrunner Athletics. Thanks so much for joining us on the show as we've been talking hoops, and good luck to the CSUB women's basketball squad, which will be playing in the WNIT Friday night at St. Mary's up there in Moraga, California. Hey, make the trip up there, not that far away. Beautiful Bay Area, too. 6 o'clock on the game time, and more information available online at GoRunners.com. But it's also CSUB softball season, and the young lady to my left has been a a workhorse to say the least this season. She is Roadrunners pitcher Kelsie Monroe, and third season with the Runners after spending 1 year at San Joaquin Delta. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How's the arm holding up?
It's there.
It's there? It's
Yep.
okay, that's good. Indeed, a workhorse throwing the most games. You're already 6-10 on the year, despite it being pretty early still. I mean, talk about this team's start. I mean, as usual, you have played a brutal schedule early to start the season.
Yeah, I mean, we played a pretty tough schedule, but we've also hung in with every single game. But I think we have a lot of potential, and I think somewhat we're the underdog in the WAC, but I think we're going to come out and surprise a lot of people.
Well, I mean, look already, as you mentioned, you've had a couple losses to some top 25 teams, which have been very competitive. You've been right there. You almost knocked off UCLA a couple weeks ago. You played them tough. Your team has 7 one-run losses so far this season. So although those are discouraging, it's also got to be encouraging that you're right there in close games, then even against teams in the top 25.
Exactly. I think every game, even the ones we've lost, have been learning experiences, and I think we can just build and build and build, and I think by the time we get to the WAC, we're going to be in a really, really good spot.
Well, for example, I mean, you played the top 25 games, but when you played outside of the top 25, you had a sweep against Utah State last week. You win one up at Sacramento State. So do you feel like this team is getting better as the schedule kind of eases a bit and conference approaches?
I think so. I think playing the top 25 schools have been a great thing. I think we actually play up to their potential, and I think we just need to learn how to keep that fire and basically pretend like every game's UCLA or every game's Washington, because when we play the teams like that, we tend to come out with this huge fire because we just want to upset someone. Right. So I think once we learn to come out like that every single time, I think we're going to be unstoppable.
Kelsie Monroe, our guest, a Roadrunner pitcher, a senior pitcher with CSUB softball. We talked about the amount that you do throw this season. You're competing in the WAC, first year in the WAC. The program, by the way, but previous was in the what was known as the PCSC, a softball conference, and they played their conference series were 4 games in 2 days. So you had back-to-back doubleheaders. The WAC has a 3-game schedule, and so as a pitcher, you got to be pretty happy with that, right?
Yeah, and I also like it better because you either sweep it or you don't. Right. You can't end up Split. 2-2. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be great.
Somebody has to win the series,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. 186 in the third innings pitched last season. 113 strikeouts, only 51 walks. This season already 67 strikeouts. How would you? First of all, how does somebody who throws as much as you do just stay healthy throughout the year? I mean, what are the tricks of your trade?
I mean, I think it's just something I've honestly done my whole life, and just the weight room helps a ton. Getting stretched by the trainers every single day, heat, ice, just staying on top, being preventative, I think is the main thing.
How would you describe your pitching style? Are you a strikeout? Are you a ground ball pitcher? What do you want to do?
I'm not necessarily a strikeout pitcher. I rely a lot more on movement, so I use my defense a lot.
There you go. So so using movement, what is your out pitch? I mean, the one pitch you're going to throw when you need an out.
Probably my drop ball.
Okay. What I think that potentially what we need to look into is maybe doing one of my Corey versus segments. But what we'll do is I'll have you try to show me how to throw the drop ball.
Okay, we could do
which
that.
Which could get very ugly. I don't know, and I don't know how that movement, like the movement that, and we even have some of the pictures we were showing on screen. Like the movement and the arm angles of softball pitching are so unnatural.
Yeah, it's
they just.
I see some of the pictures myself, and I'm like, I don't even know how my body got like that. But
yeah, there was one we were showing that was going through, and like the ball is like behind your arm, and it's all twisted like this. And I'm saying, how does she control that?
I have no idea.
I mean, exactly. That's, by the way, the greatest pitchers in any sport say, I throw a pitch that I don't know where it's going to end up half the time.
Exactly.
And the good news is, the good days it ends up in the catcher's glove. The bad days, not so much. But that's the mark of a good pitch when they say, I have no idea where the ball's going to end up half the time. You are a native of Los Banos, California, so Bakersfield's a big city to you, right?
Yeah, a lot bigger than Los Banos.
Why Bakersfield? Why'd you decide to come here, especially after just 1 year in junior college? There's that picture, by the way. There's a picture right there. I mean, that just doesn't look. Obviously, you can see the sports tape coming out to hold your shoulder together on that. But how is that? That's just not natural.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a curveball.
Oh my goodness, that just doesn't look. I mean, if you were going to throw that ball overhand, that would be the perfect. But no, she's actually coming back underneath there, folks. So that is going to twist. I mean, that's unbelievable. So anyway, sorry about that. But going to so why Bakersfield after a year at junior college?
My dream has been to play Division I softball, and I know that this team and this program has all the potential in the world. And I think the more people that have been coming in, I think we're going to turn it around. And I really do believe this program will be on the map a lot sooner than people expect.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned you've been throwing for a very long time. I mean, and I know what the culture is like now. And there's a few sports that are kind of a travel ball kind of club sports culture, and softball was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So how many different travel teams, and how long did you play the game while growing up?
Well, I actually didn't start pitching until about 8th grade,
Okay.
but that's when I started travel, and I didn't play on the big, huge travel ball teams.
Right.
We kind of just, my high school varsity team, we kind of just carried it through. And
Okay.
so we played all summer, but it really worked to our advantage when season came around
Sure.
because we played together all year round, and then when season came, we did really well in high school. So that's kind of what I did.
Well, that's the advantage of being a small town player too, because there's not like there's even somebody who's playing softball right now in high school in Bakersfield has probably 6 different travel, one team plays for the Elite Force, one team plays for whatever, the Dirt Devils, the names they come up with these teams. But they all separate and then they, to play their club teams and then come back for, so that's definitely an advantage of a small town. Your major still working through business?
Yep, business management.
Okay, how's that going? I know you were academic all conference last season, and so how did what are some of the plans for you with after softball with your degree?
That's a very good question. I'm kind of just winging it, seeing where life takes me. I'm not that person that has the whole next 5 years planned out. I'm kind of just seeing where
Which is rare, by the way. I want to say this is rare for our female student athletes, because if you ask a guy, every guy thinks they're going to be a professional, because in the men's ranks there's a lot of professional opportunities. Women's sports, not so much. I mean, there's a few limited professional leagues, and so most female student athletes are like, yeah, I'm going to be a teacher. I'm going to go to this. I'm going to that. You ask any guy, they go, I'm just going to play basketball for as long as I can.
Yeah.
I'm going to play baseball for as long as I can. And so they have no life plans after sports. I was expecting you to be the typical female student athlete who said, yeah, I'm going to go and be a finance major, and I'm going to go run a Fortune 500 company. But you're going to fall into I'm just going to see where life takes me.
Exactly.
That is good. That is not bad.
Rolling down the road.
That is not bad. That is not a bad plan. Well, good luck with that. And you're going to the Northridge tournament this weekend. And there's like 4 games, so you'll pitch probably 3 of them.
We'll see.
We'll see. By the way, congrats on the one hitter the other day.
Thank you.
That's pretty cool. That was a perfect game through about 3 and change.
I think so.
Did that ever hit you that it was a perfect game, or you were?
No, I honestly didn't even know it was a one-hitter until like 2 days later. I can't.
Okay.
I think thinking about that is like the jinx.
It's the jinx.
The ultimate jinx.
That's what I was going to ask you. I know it's like you see that when people in baseball or softball, they're getting ready to throw a no-hitter or something, and the pitcher's just on an island. I mean, nobody wants to talk to them, wants to mention, wants to point at the scoreboard and look at the goose eggs. So no, it's still pretty cool though. One hitter, especially still with the the equipment that softball is using. I mean, to still throw a one hitter is pretty impressive. So congrats on that, and good luck this weekend at Northridge, and get some ice on that arm.
Yeah.
And we'll catch up with you again soon.
Sweet, thank you.
All right, Kelsie Monroe here on Roadrunner Rundown, Roadrunners pitcher, and again this weekend there at the Cal State Northridge tournament. Northridge, Pacific, and Harvard all on the schedule this weekend for Bakersfield. We're going to step away and take a break. Roadrunner baseball is home this weekend, and they are going to be welcoming in a new face to the Western Athletic Conference. University of North Dakota will be in town. We'll be joined by Mitch Wigness, the Assistant Director of Media Relations, on our Behind Enemy Lines segment. That is coming up next. We'll be back. This is Roadrunner Rundown.
The Bakersfield Californian is a great read on the iPad, but did you know that the Bakersfield Californian is available on your Kindle Fire? Or how about Google's Nexus 7, the Nook? You bet. You can also read a full replica of the newspaper on your Android-powered smartphone, on Apple's iPhone, or on your laptop. We have a solution for any device. E-Edition is free for subscribers, or just $7.99 a month. The Bakersfield Californian. We're everywhere and anytime. Subscribe today. Bakersfield.com.
Kern Business Journal contains news and information from local business leaders and organizations. Topics include agriculture, health and medical, energy, real estate, and more. Visit KernBusinessJournal.com to find out how to subscribe or where to pick up a free copy. To inquire about advertising in the bi-monthly Business Journal, call 395-7586. Find us online on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on KernBusinessJournal.com.
I'm Lisa Kirsch. Coming up Wednesday for you on Live Well, senior fitness with a certified personal trainer. We're also exploring 55-plus living communities with a senior real estate specialist. Our Mommy Roundtable is coming back by popular demand. This time we are focusing on surviving and thriving for empty nesters. These topics and much more coming up for you Wednesday on Live Well, only on Bakersfield.com.
Save 50 to 90% with the Bakersfield Californian's daily deal featured on Bakersfield.com. A daily deal is offered each weekday on services from local restaurants, dry cleaners, health and beauty services, retail shops, and local activities for the entire family. The daily deal is 100% local. Find these amazing deals only at dailydeal.bakersfield.com.
The new book is out. That was easy. I would title this thing sort of a description of what raising children is like. That was easy. I've been writing columns now for about 25 years. Writing has always been a conversation. You're taking somebody by the hand for 3 or 4 minutes and you're not letting go. The new book, That Was Easy. Nothing easy about any of this, but we've had some fun and I hope you guys will have some fun looking at this book.
Welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown, official program, CSUB Roadrunner Athletics. My thanks to women's basketball head coach Greg McCall. His team in the WNIT, they will play at St. Mary's on Friday night at 6 o'clock. Also, my thanks to Kelsie Monroe, Roadrunner softball pitcher and all-around workhorse for that program, as runners will be at the Cal State Northridge tournament this weekend against Northridge, Harvard, and Pacific. And, of course, Bakersfield baseball back at home this weekend. The Roadrunners in their second Western Athletic Conference Series will be hosting the University of North Dakota, a new affiliate member of the Western Athletic Conference. And joining us on the program in our Behind Enemy Lines segment is Mitch Wigness. He's the Assistant Director of Media Relations at North Dakota. Mitch, thanks so much for joining us. How you doing?
You got it. I'm doing well.
First off, you guys are a new affiliate member to the league. Bakersfield was an affiliate member last season. So tell us a little bit about your program in baseball history at North Dakota.
Well, this is our sixth season in Division I, and obviously first year in the WAC, and coming over from the Great West Conference, which was a conference which did not have the automatic qualifying bid. So everybody here is real excited to be in the WAC conference, to be able to get a chance to get to that, get to the tournament and possibly get to Omaha. So everybody's really happy about being in the WAC. The Division II days here saw some success, and obviously being a northern climate team, success is probably at a varying level, but we did make it to the NCAA tournament a couple times, and there's a strong baseball history here at UND.
You had played previously, as you mentioned, in the Great West Conference, but so you have some opponent familiarity. You were at Utah Valley last weekend, Chicago State, Pan Am as well. So there are a few teams that you're used to seeing in conference play.
Yeah, we've actually grown kind of a rivalry with some of those teams. Obviously, Northern Colorado, they were Division II rivals with us as well. Utah Valley, we beat them in the Great West tournament last year for the first time ever. No team had beaten them in that tournament until we did last year. So there's a few rivalries that have come with us over this new league.
You brought up the northern climate aspect, but what kind of challenges does this team face, considering you're not in the prime climate for early spring baseball? So getting outside to practice and obviously a lot of road games, I mean, what kind of challenges does that pose for your program?
Yeah, last year we didn't play a home game till May 4th last year.
Wow.
Yeah, and playing on the field just didn't happen. So these guys they're guys all from around here, so they know what it takes to be able to play in this kind of climate. So once we do get to play here, it's obviously a huge advantage for us. This year we'll have the same kind of schedule. We'll probably play 30-ish some games before we get a chance to get on our home field. Our home field here at Kraft in Grand Forks, it's the artificial turf on the infield, but the outfield is still grass. So it's got some issues in terms of being able to get the whole thing cleared off at the same time. So we actually haven't been outside to practice yet this season here in the spring. So the fact that the guys were able to go to Utah Valley and pick up a couple of wins was pretty big. Coach Dotson had told me that that's the best his team has played here, and to get out to a 10-4, 10-1 lead like they did at Utah Valley, a team that's going to be pretty good in this conference. Coach feels really good about the start of the conference season.
Now, do you call it natural grass, as referred to as tundra in those parts?
It might be tundra. Actually, last year there was snow still piled up in the outfield beyond the fence at the last game of the season. So it was a tricky winter last year. We've had another one this year. So you just never know what you're going to get. 2 years ago, we played our rival North Dakota State right about this time at home, and it was 70 degrees.
Wow.
So you never know what you're going to get in this climate, and again, it's been one of those years where we're fighting the snow.
How much but watching a team like this in those situations, I mean, how much does a team change as the season progresses and they get more games and practices outside?
Well, just being able to take balls on the infield makes such a big difference. I think that's where you see most of the changes is in the defense. Obviously, you can still throw strikes inside, you can still hit a little bit inside, but being able to take some fly balls and take some off the turf has been that's where you normally see the difference. You'll see the earned run average go down a little bit because you're not having prolonging innings and stuff like that. So I think that's where the big change comes in.
I noticed third baseman Ryan Reese was WAC hitter of the week. He's new to the program. What does he bring to your squad? Obviously a successful player and had a monster week at Utah Valley.
Yeah, Coach inserts him right into the middle of the lineup there. He came over as a junior college transfer last year, and he can play both corner positions for Coach Dotson, and they've kind of penciled him in there at the hot corner, and he's right in the middle of the lineup there. One thing on this team is that they really only lost two positional guys from last year and returned their entire starting staff. So it's a pretty good mix of guys that are coming in, and then you throw in a guy like Zach Muckenhern who goes right into the starting rotation as a freshman, and Coach feels good about his team.
I was going to bring up, by the way, folks, we're speaking with Mitch Wigness. He's the Assistant Media Relations Director at North Dakota. They're coming into town this weekend to take on Bakersfield at Hart Field in a Western Athletic Conference series. Let's talk pitching. I mean, it's very important in any league, but this league especially. It looks like your roster is full of upperclassmen pitchers, and those have had some success in previous years.
Yeah, and what's different about the WAC is that in Great West it was 4-game series, so you'd have to throw a guy on Friday, doubleheader Saturday, and a guy on Sunday. Well, now that it's down to 3, we're actually pretty set in terms of a guy who led us in wins in ERA last year actually didn't throw last week because he got beat out by Zach Muckenhern. So their rotation, they're set to go. They feel really good about that, and still no seniors, mostly juniors in that starting rotation except for Muckenhern. But all these guys played summer league ball, so they've been playing all season. So it's just a matter of getting a few starts under their belt to get the control where it needs to be.
We won't, obviously you guys are coming here this season, so we won't be at your place, but I might be making the trip next year. So what do I have to look forward to when I head to your place? It will be a little bit different than Bakersfield. So what should be my highlights of a trip like that next year potentially?
Well, you get a chance to see that this community supports this team.
Nice.
They support all UND teams really well, and you do fight the battles with weather, but it's once you're outside playing games here in North Dakota, it's usually nice, and you'll have a good time.
I've been to South Dakota twice and had terrible experiences. I almost died once and then got blizzarded in a second time. So the Dakotas thus far and me have a bad track record. So can you assume, and I would assume that North Dakota would be better, right?
I can't speak for South Dakota and anything that happens there, but yeah, obviously North Dakota is a little bit different. It's same kind of climate, but yeah, it's you'll enjoy yourself here. Grand Forks, the community is great, and they really support baseball and are really, like I said, really happy to see them in the WAC conference. Just give them a chance to get back to the NCAA tournament.
Well, we learned last year. I mean, you just this season you got to be one of the top 6 teams to get into the conference tournament. Last year we were in the regular season, losing the semis in the conference tournament. It's all about getting in that conference tournament and performing well in Mesa, Arizona. Hey, Mitch, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck to you guys this season. We'll see your squad in Bakersfield this weekend, and we'll catch up sometime.
You got it.
All right, thank you very much, Mitch Wigness here on Roadrunner Rundown, the assistant media relations director at the University of North Dakota. New affiliate member in the Western Athletic Conference. They are joined by another new affiliate, Northern Colorado. So there are a total of 3 affiliate members in baseball in the Western Athletic Conference. Sacramento State being one. They've been in for quite a while in the Western Athletic Conference in baseball. But a lot of the schools that compete normally in the Big Sky Conference and all of their sports, Big Sky does not sponsor baseball, so some of these teams into the Western Athletic Conference. So a very strong conference, very competitive conference as well, because with the 10 teams, you're only going to have you're only going to allow 6 into the conference tournament, which will be in Mesa, Arizona, coming up in May. So very important to take care of business in conference play. Unfortunately for Bakersfield, losing 2 out of the first 3 to a very good Grand Canyon team. They will not be one of the teams that will be eligible for the tournament this year, but I'm sure the Runners are trying to get back on track against North Dakota this weekend. And again, 6 o'clock at Hartfield on Friday and Saturday night, and 1 o'clock on Sunday. Hey, Friday night, I should have brought one with me. I totally forgot, but a cool soft drink koozie, the things that keeps your hand off the can and your can still cold. We're giving those away courtesy of Coca-Cola. Cool thing is they are commemorative of last season's WAC championships. Got the WAC trophy on the side. Very cool, and we'll be giving those away to fans on Friday night. So join us out there at Hartfield. And, of course, you can follow the games anytime online at GoRunners.com as well. You can follow us and what we're doing anytime at GoRunners.com as well on Facebook, Facebook.com/CSUB Roadrunners. Also on Twitter and Instagram at CSUB Athletics. Next week on the program, we're going to have another Corey Visit segment. We're going to be, of course, experiencing the WNIT at least at St. Mary's, maybe more if Bakersfield gets to win there, and that game will happen on Friday night at 6 o'clock, and we'll have some of the highlights and some of the experience of that tournament coming up on next week's program as well. And maybe, if we have time, I'm going to try to squeeze in maybe a little Corey versus with Kelsie Monroe, see how that the drop ball, how that's thrown. We'll see if that works out next week as well. So plenty of stuff on the program. And, of course, remember, join us for Runners Baseball this weekend. And softball open their conference schedule next weekend at the softball complex hosting Utah Valley. More on that on next week's program. Hey, thanks so much for joining us. Catch a show anytime online at GoRunners.com. Old editions as well. Previous editions on demand at GoRunners.com. Have a great rest of the week. We will catch you next time. This is Roadrunner Rundown.